All right, folks, I don't know about you guys, but I love to see a bully get confronted. A bully show up and get smacked right back in the face because they're so used to not getting any sort of retaliation, right? They can just pick on whoever they want and they're not ready. You know, just like the famous Mike Tyson quote, everybody's got a good plan till you get punched in the face. Well, that's the SEC. And it does not stop them from continuing this Operation Choke Point. We dropped a video earlier this morning breaking down the most recent attack on DeFi, the SEC serving a Wells notice to Uniswap. And I would highly encourage everybody to go back and watch that video that I dropped this morning. Very specifically, the breakdown that I provided between the XRP Ledger AMM and the Uniswap AMM, and why I believe the XRP Ledger AMM being at the protocol level is going to keep us in the clear. Meanwhile, the Uniswap AMM is basically a layer 2 smart contract on top of Ethereum. And I believe that smart contract is going to be the pinch point where the SEC is going to be able to say that smart contract is an investment contract. You guys are an unregistered, you basically are a broker dealer for unregistered securities. And that's where they're going to get Uniswap. Not that I support the SEC. And like I said, I love to see a bully getting confronted. And we do got to report on the good, the bad, the ugly, everything in between. If you guys appreciate our updates, you guys know what to do. Make sure you guys subscribe, hit that notification bell. So this is from Stuart Alderati going all the way back to November 3rd of 2023. He says, another loss this week for the SEC. The streak continues. Love to see it. The Second Circuit in SEC versus Gobble held that the SEC can't ask for a crippling disgorgement award without first proving that investors suffered actual financial harm. In other words, no harm, no foul. Now, of course, this relates back to the SEC versus Ripple lawsuit because those institutional investors that bought XRP from Ripple, Judge Torres ruled that the institutional sales was an unregistered investment contract, right? Well, all those investors made a lot of money. Not only were they not harmed, they made a lot of money, most of them. Look at the R3 deal, for example, right? They got an option to purchase 5 billion XRP for sub 1 penny, and the deal ended up falling apart, but they were still able to get 1 billion XRP. Now, following through on that, though, the SEC in this Second Circuit court here against Gobble, they took that loss where basically it said, the judge ruled that no harm, no foul. Well, they filed a petition to basically appeal. And Stuart Alderati drops the update here today. The SEC continues to lose. The Second Circuit Court of Appeals refused to reconsider the decision in Gobble, which held that if a buyer suffers no financial loss, the SEC is not entitled to disgorgement from the seller. So this is going to be cited in Ripple's response on the remedies phase. Mark my words, I can bet you a lot of money that it's going to be cited, this specific case, and maybe even the rejection of the appeal. When Ripple responds on April 22nd is when we're going to get the Ripple response for the remedies phase, right? The SEC filed their brief, the first initial brief on remedies, on March 22nd. We've already broken that one down, and this is where the SEC is seeking a disgorgement of nearly $2 billion, right? Some 800 million worth of, disgorgement, 200 million in interest, and then another 800 million in a civil penalty, because the deal. They want to make an example out of Ripple, and Ripple's so rich and wealthy, and they've made so much money that we need to set an example. They specifically, they didn't go out and say that, but that's essentially what they were saying in their filing and their request for nearly $2 billion worth of disgorgement. Now, here's the problem. As is cited in this case, no harm, no foul. You can't find any of those institutional investors that didn't make money, right? And many of these institutional investors made a lot of money, right? So it's just an absolute joke. The SEC is supposed to be protecting investors. Meanwhile, the only part of the case that they've won is in protecting institutional clients that made a boatload of money. Many of these institutional buyers actually got XRP at a discount from Ripple because they were market makers and institutions that were using XRP for its utility, on-demand liquidity, and Ripple was trying to grow that out. And they were doing the right thing, I believe, by giving these, basically whales, market makers, and institutions incentives, basically XRP at a discount. So right as they were buying it, it was at a discount. Now, what was so funny about the SEC's initial brief on March 22nd is basically they said that these institutional investors were so badly damaged, right? Because not everybody got the same deal, right? The deals were structured differently between the different institutions. They were probably, pretty similar, but as far as the price, not everybody got the same price, of course, right? And God forbid Ripple did that and hooked up some institutions better than they did others, right? Who gives a rat's behind, right? You guys already know this is an absolute joke, and this is going to be used in Ripple's defense that they're going to be filing on April 22nd. There is also a Sunshine Act meeting, which they have to post every time the SEC is having a Sunshine Act meeting, which discusses ongoing litigation and settlement. They have to let the public know that. And so I think there's another meeting that's coming up here soon. But nonetheless, rumors are still swirling around about some sort of settlement between SEC and Ripple. If that is going to happen, I think that it has to happen before basically May 6th is the final deadline for the SEC to file their final response. So we're in the remedies phase here where we get to decide how much does Ripple have to pay up. Many of the professional lawyers are suggesting that it's going to be way less than what Ripple has paid in legal fees, which is about $200 million. So, the SEC is not going to get $2 billion, not even close. And with this ruling, there's even a precedent that's now being set that no disgorgement should be paid, right? None at all. So this is going to be very interesting. I cannot wait to see Ripple's response on April 22nd. They will file it and it will be redacted. And then we might not get the public version until the next day. But the next day to watch in the SEC versus Ripple case is going to be April 22nd. We'll get that. But once again here, guys, we can see the light at the end of the tunnel in the XRP community. We get to sleep soundly at night. Of course, the SEC could appeal, but guys, the case is so weak. Not only did Judge Torres rule in our favor on basically every point, Judge Torres already denied the interlocutory appeal. So is the SEC really going to try to appeal on any of these points when they've already gotten struck down on the interlocutory appeal? They could, of course. But I think that they're going to go after some of the low-hanging fruit that they have here, like Uniswap and others, which I think that, unfortunately, for Uniswap and for the broader cryptocurrency DeFi space, I think that the SEC is going to be able to hang up Uniswap on the fact that they have a layer 2 smart contract that's not built into the protocol like we have on the XRPL AMM. That's going to separate us from Uniswap and the rest of the space. The AMM did go live last night and the liquidity is already building. And this is just a beautiful moment in the XRP community. Unfortunately, just like we have here in the Pacific Northwest here today, we have a gray clouds over us. We have a gray cloud that's still hanging over the cryptocurrency space in America. And now DeFi is under attack as well. But nonetheless, that's not stopping the courts from stepping in and smacking down the bully, which is the SEC. That's what took place here again today, them rejecting basically the petition to bring this case forward again. And so you just love to see it. And so once again, no harm, no foul. There was no harm, no foul in the Ripple sales to institutions. So it is most likely here that we're going to see next to no penalty, no fine, no disgorgement for Ripple. And if that's not bullish, I don't know what is, right? You have full clarity that XRP in and of itself is not a security. You have full clarity that XRP sold programmatically to exchanges, not a security. And basically, what we're waiting to get, the final thing that we're waiting to get that's still uncertain is, did Ripple's sales after the lawsuit was filed, are those ones still investment contracts, or did Ripple successfully change, restructure those contracts so that they're not investment contracts? Simple purchase agreements, buy-sell agreement. You give us dollars, we give you XRP. Boom, that's the end of the deal, right? That's what we're expecting, and that's why I believe that Ripple continued to sell billions of dollars worth of XRP after the lawsuit was filed, because they went to their lawyers. They knew where the SEC had gotten them on, and they were able to change those contracts. So I think that, we're coming out of this thing basically with full clarity on XRP in and of itself not being a security, and full clarity as far as how Ripple can sell XRP going forward to their institutional partners. And so what this means is that institutions in the United States of America, which is the only place where XRP and on-demand liquidity is not growing, can start to grow. We can start to have clarity. Everybody can understand how the deals need to be structured, and everybody has to understand that we're not going to be in trouble. You add on the fact that now we're getting all this utility, the AMM is fired up. I just saw the XP market is going to be building out and offering a launch pad. So it's like we get this AMM, we got the cross-chain bridge that's coming, decentralized ID that's coming, all of these other amendments as well to consider. You got launch pads that are being created, and I just am so excited to see the AMM going live. I've already added back to the AMM. Make sure you guys subscribe, hit the notification bell, because I'm going to be dropping a video here probably tomorrow that's going to be explaining how to XRP AMM. I'm going to keep it simple for everybody. I'm going to dumb it down. And these interfaces actually make it really, really easy. With the Zaman wallet and these interfaces like XP Market, Anados Finance, Orchestra Finance, it's really, really simple. And so I just love to see it. And I am going to be putting out an additional warning too, guys. With this utility, with this power comes responsibility. And in this case specifically, we're talking about knowing who these issuers are, conducting due diligence. We already saw a token that was launched. I don't know how long it's been around, but basically the AMM pool was circulating around. It was called Brix Gold token. So I've already put out the tweet earlier today. I'm going to drop a separate video warning the community though. You're going to see all sorts of scam tokens launched on the XRP ledger. There's already scammers here. There's over 8,000 tokens launched on the XRP ledger. 90% of them are scams or have no utility. So you need to understand your issuer. You need to be able to conduct due diligence before you just throw into, oh, Brix Gold. Oh, wow. Brix is tokenizing all their gold on the XRP ledger. And if I buy this token, I get my piece of that pie. No, you don't. You're getting your piece of a scam. Okay. So just like we've seen on Stellar with all the QFS projects and tokens and QFS wallets, that's all BS. I just talked a couple of videos ago. I talked about how Ripple's already working on making the XRP ledger quantum resistant. So the QFS is real. We are moving to a quantum financial system. The system will be settling on quantum computers. Ripple themselves, along with David, has already mentioned about making the XRP ledger quantum resistant. But you don't need any QFS wallets. Basically all of these tokens are just scams. And so the XRP community needs to remain incredibly vigilant right now. Know your issuer, do due diligence before you just throw money at some random token, and stay safe out there, guys. But massive moment for the XRP community with the AMM going live, utility growing, and full clarity for XRP on the way. No harm, no foul. Love to see it. God bless all of you guys. We'll see you in the next one.